prevalence of autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, is now 1 out of 68 children and 1 out of 46 boys. The cost of having a child on the spectrum is significant, both emotionally and financially, for the parents and for society. A debate has raged for decades now on what causes autism and how to deal with it. ASD appears to manifest between 2 and 4 years of age. The discussion has been very subjective, even though science is often quoted in the justification of viewpoints. Many mothers have observed their children to have changed right after receiving a vaccination. The medical establishment vehemently denies any connection, and there are other triggers being argued about. A solution is not available. Almost half of children identified with ASD have average or above average intellectual ability. Early recognition as well as behavioral, educational, and family therapies may reduce symptoms and support development and learning. I treat allergy-related autism by desensitizing the individual from their food and environmental sensitivities with a precision stress reduction technique called the SHOW method. But what if we could prevent autism altogether? I think we could. How? If we scan parents or infants for their energetic profiles, meaning a database of foods, chemicals, and microbes, and then harmonize their epigenetic stressors, we can neutralize many of these triggers before they cause functional damage. We have to harmonize the infant's epigenetic expression. That includes taking stress out of metabolism like allergies and improving the immune system to fight off infections. Pregnant women who catch the flu or have a fever that lasts over 1 week have a higher risk of giving birth to a baby with an autism spectrum disorder. Researchers from the University of Aarhus in Denmark reported in the Journal of Pediatrics. There's plenty of proof that autism is related to genetic predispositions, meaning mutations and SNPs in the DNA, which is also known as the genome. The obvious question is, well, yes, we know, but what can you do about it? A lot. One has to realize that the DNA is the most vibrant, resonating material of life, given to us by the Almighty and evolved over thousands of years with one purpose only: to live, reproduce, and to survive in our environment, Mother Earth and Father Sky. So yes, the DNA changes, it adapts to demands from the environment. It's a living thing, pliable like a sponge and ready to respond to the daily demands of life, far from being made of steel or stone. There are mechanisms built into the DNA to repair itself every day, minute by minute, just like every other tissue in the body. But there's another phenomenon to be aware of. Over the thousands of years, we have accumulated many mutations in our DNA. In fact, everybody has thousands of these mutations and SNPs. Single nucleotide polymorphisms, the switched out little rungs on a DNA ladder. Not just a few, but many thousands. And what makes you and me different for susceptibility is the spread of these mutations across the DNA, which is why one sibling may develop autism and another may not. Let me tell you a bit more about this so very fragile, precious, and most powerful and amazing DNA. Billions of links of DNA are populated across our genome, another word for DNA, and thousands of mutations are mixed in and hidden within. These mutations and SNPs cause serious metabolic stress like allergies and inflammation. Some of these are life-threatening. The good news is we can find many of these mutations with genetic testing, and even more exciting, I have discovered we can harmonize their epigenetic expression through precision energy treatments which move predisposition. What do we have to do to change genetic predispositions? We have to think energetically. Subtle energies can harmonize genetic expression. Genes can be addressed or communicated with by subtle energies, meaning certain frequencies. In the practical real world, I do this by going after allergies, sensitivities, and latent infections, whether detected by conventional testing or not. We can detect them energetically through kinesiology testing or with quantum biofeedback technology. These allergies and sensitivities and latent infections present as energetic stressors to the metabolism, to the body, and that's how we can detect them. That's also how we alleviate these metabolic stressors with energy balancing feedback techniques. And lo and behold, the body changes functionally. Many allergies can be eliminated at this specific detailed level by harmonizing epigenetic functions. There are limitations to physical medicine. For example, being diagnosed with an allergy to dust mites is a bit useless. There is no gene responsible for dust mites, but there are genes responsible for vitamin B12 metabolism, calcium metabolism, vitamin D metabolism, breakdown of phenols. There are certain genes responsible to detoxify food colors, detoxify food preservatives, chemicals of all kinds, alcohol, etc. We can de-stress the SNPs and mutations within these specific gene functions by harmonizing their expression with very specific subtle energies and frequencies. If we do this early on in an infant's life, the chances of an adverse reaction to the many chemicals and substances they need to be able to process in their modern lifestyles are greatly reduced. And that fact reduces the numbers of triggers which can express autism. How exciting is that? So, we want to become aware of the fact that one can significantly influence genetic expression. For the worse with unhealthy lifestyle choices, but most importantly for the better with energy treatments. Specific energy treatments like the SHOW method, which reduce epigenetic stress caused by inborn mutations and SNPs, and harmonize genetic expression of the body's metabolism. This improves the child's metabolism to process food and nutrients without allergic reactions, detoxing waste products and chemicals more efficiently and eliminating latent infections effectively. All this simply by avoiding drugs as much as possible and empowering the body's inborn code of life and survival. An energetic process, not a physical one. To learn more about my SHOW method, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and find seminar information at my website smarthealthforyou.org.